What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the CrazyFaceUno podcast. I'm your host
with the most,
Shane McNeeley.
Yes, you are.
And as you can hear, I'm here with my wife, the beautiful, the wonderful, the magnificent Dana May Del McNeeley.
Hey!
And boy, do I have a story for you.
This is a good one.
Dana. So, we spent about an hour and 20 minutes doing a podcast together. And I completely screwed it up and somehow lost all of it.
But you're handling it so well. I'm so proud of you.
If you can only feel the internal struggle that I have going on.
But you just went all in again. You just turned that bad boy on.
I have to. Here we are. Like,
great.
I have to.
I mean, luckily, I probably have another hour and a half to just pull out of anywhere. Does it?
Oh my gosh.
If you run over your time, because I know that it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, so an hour and a half is what. So I don't know. I could probably go longer now because I've paid for the upgrades and all of that.
But what happens at an hour and a half, I guess, is my thing.
It just keeps recording, but it won't. It forces me to split it.
Oh, okay.
To upload
so
it.
With Katie's.
Yeah. So the first one, the number one with Kate, or the first time I did a podcast with Katie, we talked for longer than an hour and a half. Katie Zuli. Yep. So I did part 1 and part 2, and I split it up so that you could listen to the whole podcast because we did the whole podcast together.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I'm okay with it. They don't know any better.
I know. But we talked for legitimately almost an hour and 20 minutes.
I mean, I could do it again. Let me talk about Queer Eye again. I spent a good 15 minutes on Queer Eye.
You guys, it was so good. We had a really good podcast. And I don't... Honestly, I'm so sorry because I feel like you guys are getting cheapened because it's not even the full maybe it was supposed to happen. Okay.
It was supposed to happen. Fate. Hashtag fate.
So let me go into this first. Wow. Hashtag fate.
Yeah.
So we were doing a bunch of different things before we got going. This is my wife. She's wonderful.
I am. All of those things.
She's all of those things. I only said one thing.
Modest.
But she's all of them as well.
Beautiful. Talented.
Wow. Keep going, honey. What else do you want to tell us about yourself?
Obsessed with Queer Eye.
Yeah, so we were, and by we were, I mean my wife was. I was actually into it, so I'm interested in watching it. I've heard a lot of great things, but she's really into Queer Eye on Netflix right now.
They renamed it. They rebranded it. So it's Queer Eye, More Than a Makeover. So now it's not just men that are their clients or people. It's also women, and I love it so much. I love it so much. So it's these 5 guys who just kind of swoop into somebody's life, and then they change it.
All right, so while she's talking about this, I just want you to know that I'm going to go get me some more whiskey and another beer.
Will you give me another soda water?
And Dana's getting a soda water.
That's so great. Thanks, honey.
I might even get myself a soda water because I probably should hydrate by the time that we get through this one.
Probably. Anyway, so...
Keep talking.
I'm going to plug Queer Eye so hard because I love it so much.
Netflix and Queer Eye, if you would like to be a sponsor of the CrazyFaceUno podcast, please let me know.
Shameless.
Info at CrazyFaceUno.com.
Shameless. Absolutely shameless. Anyway, so if you haven't watched it, and if you haven't seen the original, it's essentially a reboot off the original. And it's these 5 men who happen to be gay, and they swoop into people's lives and they basically help them become the best version of themselves. So it's these 5, and they each have like different not topics, but they each have different like areas that they specialize in. And it's actually shaped me a lot in what I do and how I kind of think. I'm starting to think with these men's voices in my head, which is like here or there. Shane's popping a beer. There it is.
That was really anticlimactic.
The first time it was great, though.
Yeah, rub it in. About the great time the first time.
Anyway, so there's these 5 men. One is Anthony. He is like food and wine expert. So he like kind of teaches people to just like come up with really like easy, quick kind of meals that they can spend time or make for their families. Then there's Tan, and he is this British Pakistani guy who's in charge of like fashion and style. So he just like helps people dress in a way that's very comfortable with them. And something that I love about the show as well is that they always bring them to places that are actually places that they would go. So in one episode, they went to Target with this guy and his like 2 daughters because that's some place that they would go. Or in this episode, I haven't finished watching it, but in this other episode, they went to REI and that's where they're going clothes shopping. And it's like, it's because this is like where people will actually go. And I think the biggest takeaway here is that it doesn't matter where you go. You can always try and look your best within that kind of spectrum. And he kind of teaches you. And it's actually to this point now where whenever, if I go shopping or if I'm looking at stuff, I'm like, if Tan France wouldn't put me in it, I don't want it in my life. So I was just at TJ Maxx or Marshall's or whatever, and I was going through things, and I'm like, would Tan France try and design me in this? And if the answer was no, I put it back, and I just didn't buy it, which I think is like really helpful to just like elevate my style and my look.
Which is fair. I mean, I feel like it's a fair comment, especially. I mean, you're going through this specific person, but. Like, it's a great way to, like, filter through, and, like, filter through is, like, if you pick a specific person and, like, would so-and-so put me in this? Would my husband, would my sister, would my best friend, would whoever, like, would they like this?
Yeah. So, Anthony, Tan, Jonathan Van Ness is grooming. So, he does, like, hair, makeup, just self-care in general. Then there's Bobby, who is design. So he actually remodels these people's homes, which is just an insane project to do in 5 days.
She's a freak and she knows all their
Oh,
names.
God, I love it. And then there's Karamo, who's culture. It came up! So we have our TV, not on in the background, but it's like a Roku, and now we just have these like weird kind of commercials.
Been watching, so it's like going to the screensaver.
And it's amazing.
Came up and it's just...
Anyway, Karamo is culture. And what I think is really interesting about Karamo is that he's also a licensed therapist, I believe. So I feel like he helps people just kind of break through that kind of like last wall to what's like stopping them from growing as a person. And I just love it so much. Like I love them so much. Like a crazy person over here. I'm like gushing over these 5 men that I've never met before in my life.
So to fill you in on me on this side, I've got a couple different beverages that I am partaking in. One is a beer that my lovely wife bought for me as a welcome gift.
You're welcome.
When I arrived. It is the Funky Buddha Brewery. The name is Hop Gun IPA. It's an Indian Pale Ale. 7% alcohol by volume. So it's pretty stout for itself. It's okay. Very IPA-ish, a little dry, pretty hoppy. So if you're not interested in that, don't give it a try. But
it was your like welcome home gift.
Yeah, I like it.
It was adorable. I put a little Post-it note on it. And you just found it.
Is it adorable if you tell me it's adorable?
Yeah, it is. It's actually more adorable.
Still adorable. And I'm also having a little whiskey. The whiskey I'm having is it's High West whiskey. It's American Prairie Bourbon is the name. It's a blend of straight bourbon whiskey. It's bottled by High West Distillery, Park City, Utah. And the batch number is 18H08. It's 46% alcohol by volume.
It's very specific.
Yeah. But it's pretty good. I ventured off to some of the ones that I don't go to normally. Just to kind of keep things even.
Yeah.
There's some that I like. I mean, all of you guys, even if you're ladies, gentlemen, you have something that you prefer to drink. Whether that's just plain water or Coke or Pepsi or Mountain Dew or Sprite or Sierra Mist or whatever. Like, there's a preference you have for certain things. Or whether it's a beer, your different IPAs, or a whiskey. You have the things that you prefer. And obviously, like, I have some whiskeys and I have some different alcohols that I prefer over others. But I got to venture out and drink some different ones. So, having High West whiskey tonight with a beer. It's great. One little cube. My wife got me some nice little cubes, some
ice trays.
Because
I'm thoughtful, bigger. Yo.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, man, I know you're just gonna get all of this the entire time, but I'm really bummed that this is like I was at the end of our podcast. Like I was ready to like stop it. I had already like asked you if there's anything else you wanted to say.
Yeah.
And
it was.
I think it was user error. I think I am the one that screwed it up, which is even more of a bummer.
It's fine.
Here we are. So there's a few different things. One, let's give you a lowdown on our apartment. There is way too much shit. That's going to be a number one of this conversation. I mean, for goodness sakes, we have way too much stuff.
Well, like, you have to conceptualize it. We had a 1.5-story house. We had a full basement. And it was, like, full of stuff. We had 4 couches. 3 couches. 4 couches? We had 3 all the couches.
And the futon.
And a futon. That's right.
So 3 and a futon.
And guess what made it with
Love
us?
seat, 2 couches, and a futon.
The futon made it to Florida of all of the things that we... You know what's so funny? So before this, Shane, like, looked at me. He didn't say what he was talking about, but he just, like, looked at me and was like, this stuff, we're done with this. And I knew that he was talking about the futon.
Yeah.
Like, I already knew that you were talking about the futon, even though you spent, like, just a minute saying, we're done with this. Like, we're done.
Yeah, so, like, before the podcast started, I was just like, bah. It's just the futon. It's just not a great piece of, like, living room material. We're also like 30. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors of wood stain of like different pieces. So like each coffee table or each like end table of the coffee table, our TV stand, and then it's turned into my whiskey. My, like, alcohol cabinet is also...
Your bar?
Like, my bar.
Your bar cabinet?
My bar cabinet is also a different shade. So it's like, there's just so many different things going on here.
All the browns. Just all of the brown colors.
Yeah.
Wood colors. But it, like... I don't know. We're just... You know what's funny? Do you remember having a conversation before? Not in the previous podcast that we lost, but just like in general, where we don't buy new stuff very often.
No.
We just like get stuff from like garage sales or Goodwill. Like the futon, we got it for $15 at a garage sale. Tom, my father, Tomas, he got this futon. He found it while he was like after he helped me move in to my new apartment, my first apartment outside of college. He was like driving around to park his trailer that had all of our stuff in it, and there all of the unloaded stuff in it, and he found this. Sorry, he found this. What was it? He found this futon for like $15.
So Tom, if you're out there and you're listening, I'm gonna sell this futon for like $50, and I'm gonna make you proud that I'm gonna make $35 on this futon. So Dana's going to take a picture of me. So the picture for this podcast is gonna be me double fisting whiskey in the beer with the microphone. And I want to make sure that the microphone is in this as well. It's going to be a double deuce. And you guys are going
Oh, don't spill the beer on me.
And you guys are going to understand whenever you're listening.
Smile. Wait, now I'm going to do this angle. Oh, gotta get your face in there. And centered. Okay, I took a bunch of pictures because I'm not the best photographer. Here, give me this one.
Okay. So I got to check out these pictures to
It's
make
actually
sure.
really funny. I think there was one time I was like supposed to take pictures, and you were like, you did just a terrible job. And it was really bad. I am not meant to take pictures. And the other day, I think I was talking to, it was like one of my team members who was just like, she was like, oh, just take a picture. And I'm like, you shouldn't let me do that. Like, I'm terrible at taking pictures.
No, it was... You did a great job taking pictures.
Oh, thanks, baby.
However, you sent me the, like, Google Photos. Like, I don't know how it was. It, like, came to me. And when I looked at it, all of the photos hadn't, like, downloaded or whatever. And so they were all just, like, straight blurry. So I was looking at them and I was like, what in the hell has taken place? Like, why are these photos so terrible?
I can't use these.
I can't use any of these.
And I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. And then, like, I got home and they had fully downloaded and it was fine. It looked great. But it was just funny. I mean, maybe we try it again with the photos, though.
These ones?
Yeah. Yes, these ones.
Okay, I didn't do... Okay, let's try this again. I gotta get the camera out. I'm gonna get the...
I don't know. I don't know how things get blurry. So, I'm gonna, like...
Did it not download properly?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a possibility if it didn't download properly. But for your viewing pleasure... You know what? I want us both to be in this. So.
Let me take a selfie.
You get to take the selfie.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold double fist. Click on the portrait one.
Oh, portrait.
Let's see what that happens. Oh, see. Okay, clear off that front photo.
Okay.
This is great material. Are you guys just enjoying this? You will know whenever you see the picture, you'll be like, oh yeah, like this is what they were doing. Such nerds. All right, well, that's what you get. I don't even know.
It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, these.
That's a good one. There it is. There's just so much dead hair. The cardinal rule that you're never supposed to have in like a podcast or a radio. Dead air.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there wasn't that much, but
there was enough. There was enough to make us sound like crazy people. Oh yeah, that was a big. Oh, that's disgusting. That was quite the swig of whiskey.
Yeah, that whiskey had to make things interesting on the podcast, that's for sure. Anyway, let's move on to our adventures next weekend.
Yeah, I'm super jazzed.
Originally, we had booked it on the podcast, which was fun. So, Airbnb has some new features.
Yeah.
And it just depends on where you're at. I don't know. Not everywhere has it, but Airbnb experiences are a thing. On our last podcast that you guys didn't get to hear, Dana and I booked for next Saturday an experience with a lady named Afro Chef Layla.
Yeah.
And the experience is called Island Cooking with Afro Chef Layla. It's a 4-hour experience. I'm going to just read the about your host and what we'll do experience. It says, I'm chef/owner of Layla's Backyard Bistro, boutique catering service in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Every Saturday evening, I host an awesome Airbnb foodie experience. My backyard garden is transformed into a rustic but elegant pop-up dining event where my guests enjoy a fusion in Caribbean and international dishes. You'll enjoy sweet, spicy Jamaican jerk meats and seafood curries, unique desserts and cocktails, mellow music, conversation, and laughter. Join me early and learn how to make your own jerk marinade/sauce and other treats before we fire up the coals and start jerking. Around 6 p.m. is when the feast begins. What we'll do says, if you enjoy island vibes, this is a good substitute until your next trip. I'll show you how we make jerk sauce, Jamaican hot chocolate, my dad's coffee, my mama's ginger beer, jerk chicken, jerk fish, curried goat, curried chicken, roti, Ital stew, escovish fish, and festival, pepper shrimp, Manish water, and more. While we eat and drink our tasty creation, vintage reggae music completes the island vibe. So we bought this experience, and we're super excited about it. This lady she's fixing Jamaican food out of her comfort of her own home, and I think it's
so good,
so awesome. I think it's a really cool idea. $30 per person. I don't know how it gets any better than that. That's just awesome. So Dana and I have officially purchased this experience, and we're going to be joining Afro Chef Layla next Saturday. I will at least, if Dana's not on the podcast, I will at least let you know how it was.
Yeah, I'm super jazzed because I have grown an appreciation for curries, one, and just island food or Jamaican food. I love. It's so good. It's so tasty, and I just want to eat it all the time.
Yeah, it is delicious. We went to a place last night that was really delicious.
Yes, we did. It was called, what was it called? Tobu?
Tobu. T-O-B-U.
Tobu.
Thai and sushi.
Thai and sushi. I was in both a Thai food and a sushi food mood last night.
Yeah, which worked out perfect because she found this place. She also found this place in St. Paul called Thai Garden.
Oh, yeah.
And so Dana is 2 for 2 on Thai places.
Two
so
for
far.
2 for Thai.
She is like kicking ass and taking names in the Thai
I'm
world.
actually pretty good at finding restaurants.
Yeah, she is.
Like, I'm pretty good at it. I'm terrible at picking out movies.
You deep dive into it and you like look. It's like you know the things to look for.
Yeah. I also just like finding. I like that. I would say it's my love language for you. It's how I express love towards you.
Yeah, I love food.
You love food, so I like bringing you to places that make good food because
Yeah.
I can hold my own, but I wouldn't say I'm like a great cook.
No,
I'm
but
a good cook.
I would agree. I think that you're a foodie at heart. Like you know when you taste good things, like you get it. Like we've had fine dining, we've had not fine dining.
What was that at that one magic noodle place? The Bone Cylinders.
Yeah, Bone Cylinders. But it was good.
It was so good.
It just had a really wacky name,
Yeah.
Bone Cylinders.
It was just basically like a femur bone.
It was just bone marrow that you could like, and they give you a straw so you can suck.
So you can just
So you can suck the marrow out of the bone.
It was so good though. But yeah, no, I do like food and I just don't like making food. You
True.
like making food.
I love making food.
I do get joy sometimes out of making food for people, but I hate making food for just like 1 or 2 people. I don't know why, but that just drives me up the wall.
So fun fact, I plugged it last podcast. The Chancy Poo.
Oh yeah.
Instagram with Chance. So if you're interested in following along with Chance's life, I'm going to post a picture, at least one picture every day is my goal. So far I've hit that goal. Today I posted 2. But yeah, so like I just post little things, and it's in the voice of Chance.
That's probably my favorite part
It's
because
probably
it's
my favorite
absolutely
part
the
as well.
things that he's thinking. And if you just need a little chance fix, it's just so
Right.
nice.
And it's not just my photos, it's going to be Dana's photos as well. I mean, it's shared between the two of us, but as of now it's been pretty much my baby, but it's going to be our thing with Chance. But I've also created an Instagram account for the Foodie Fanatical.
That's what it's called, though.
Yeah, that's what it's called. The Foodie Fanatical. And the whole concept is we just moved to Florida and I love food. And I really, like, I've thought about it for a long time. Like, I really would love to just kind of, like, put my opinions out there as far as food goes and share my experiences.
About food.
I love food so much. Like, I love food. So, like, right now it's just restaurants that I've been to and places I've been to. I'm not really, like, judging them or, like, grading them at any point at this time. I would like to do that maybe as my following grows. I would like to do that and like add its own web page and kind of give my own like in-depth like opinions about the places that I go to. But as of right now, it's just like this is where I went, this is what I ate, and it's not really whether I liked it or not. It's just like this is my experience with this type of food.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I would love to like integrate into that Instagram like me fixing food. I honestly haven't fixed any food at all yet.
Well, we haven't had like a functional kitchen until today either.
Yeah. So like that's like potentially part of that as well, and like sharing my recipes and sharing my like my take on different things. Yeah. Which will be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're interested, check out the Foodie Fanatical on Instagram.
I want to start I have an Instagram.
Yeah.
And I like never post on it. But
Dana
I think
Thel.
No, I think it was Dana McNeeley. Not McNeeley. That would be creepy. I think it was just Dana May. I can't remember.
Yeah, your Instagram, and
It's
then
pretty blank, but I think it might
even
be
my
fun.
Instagram, like my personal Instagram has gotten like
Yeah.
pretty like ghostly lately. It's just hard. Like I don't know how to separate the two. It's one thing when you go like,
Well, it's like a baby, right? Or a dog. Like, everybody wants a dog. Everybody loves having a lot of dogs, but it takes time to, like, cultivate having an animal and, like, a
Yeah.
dog/child.
yeah, I
Look
mean,
at the
like,
baby Chance. I haven't
right.
seen him in, like, 3 weeks, so, like, I don't think he hates me, but I'm not his favorite person.
No, he's sitting right next to you.
It's because there's
No.
not enough room on your side,
But
probably. He loves Shane right now.
He does.
Chance.
However, when I would say like right before Dana got home, I was like holding off because I didn't want to take him out personally. Because we live in a third floor apartment.
Yeah, we do.
In Florida.
Yeah.
It's like a thing. I had taken him out multiple times throughout the day, and he was like wanting something, and I'm assuming he wanted to go outside. So I was like, just wait for mom. Like, mommy's going to be home soon. And he would like look over towards the door, and he would like get super jazzed and be like, but she's not here now, Dad. Like, what are we doing?
Okay, but Dad, I have to poop. So
Yeah. So I was like, just wait for mom. And it took her like an hour to get home. So
yes, it did.
yeah, it did.
I got my first paycheck
Hi-yo.
from Comfort. So like the last paycheck I got was my last one from Coloplast, so it directly deposited into my account.
Hell yeah.
This is my first paycheck at my new job, and they have to like, I don't know, like rebond the thing. I can't even remember what it is. But essentially like
Rebond.
well, they explained it. It's like reestablishing a connection, even though like they know my stuff works because I'm already, you know, it was already working, and it's basically a company that my previous company owned.
But you're getting paid through a different avenue or
I don't
whatever.
know. It doesn't matter. Either way, I got my check in physical form, and I forgot about it, so then I stopped at a place on my way home,
Well, that makes sense.
and that just took some time.
We really haven't talked since you got home, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't talked outside of the podcast since you got home,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny because it's also been, like, currently, it's almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty tired. I do
But
want some
we
popcorn,
also-
too.
Yeah, popcorn would be awesome right now, actually.
Yeah.
But, like, if we would have posted the first podcast, we would have
We
been
would
done
be
by now.
hands deep in popcorn right now.
Damn it. Well, can't win them all.
We can't win them all.
I did just finish my whiskey. And by finish my whiskey, I finished the second.
You didn't get either of us water.
Was I supposed to?
Yeah, you said you were going to get both of us a water.
All right. Dana's going to take over. I'm going to go get us
I'm going to
water.
take over? That's a good idea. What am I going to talk about?
You haven't had any problem in the past.
Oh! This guy.
All right. I'm going to go get us some water. I have a full beer.
You're going to, like, pass out soon if you don't get yourself a water.
It's true. You have water right there.
It's empty.
Oh, she's so needy.
To be fair, I like almost never finish a full can of water. So it's kind of impressive that I did. It's he just did this little dance and ran away, and I have my baby next to mommy. But it's actually kind of funny. So Chance, my love, my darling child, he actually has 2 kennels in our house now. One is like the kennel that we had in Minneapolis, which is actually a collapsible kennel, but he's so smart and strong that he's figured out how to make the front half collapse so that he can escape. So we can't really let him be in that one anymore. Are you kicking around my water?
Your water's right there. That one's mine.
Yeah, so Shane just like took the water that he was kicking around on the ground and then shook it up. A soda water, by the way. Anyway, So Chance has now a second crate that he cannot escape from, so that we can safely put him in one and not have to worry about him breaking out and doing anything to our apartment when we're not here. And it's honestly been just like this really nice like breather, or like just like a safety net. And we never leave him in there for very long. So like he's totally fine. And he's perfectly happy. I give him chew toys and like regular toys and a bunch of treats and stuff. And he loves it. So it's always a good time. Nice sweet baby. One day he's going to love me again, and it's going to be great. And I'm really excited. Anyway, Shane's coming back.
I am.
Here he is.
I'm back.
Oh, yes.
It's true. He really has been up my butt. Like, I don't know how to put it any other way. Like,
he loves daddy.
Like, we have severely bonded over the last couple, like, the last 3 weeks, basically. And it's great.
But he's just all up over you
like,
all of the time.
I really do enjoy, the attention. But, like, sometimes I'm just like, dude, like, I just need, like, a minute. Like, come on. Like, please get outside. Like, please step off. You know? Like, I don't know. He's just, like, he's a lot sometimes. That's all.
This is how Sam felt about you in college.
I know. Like, this is what I said. Sam, if you're listening, like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I get it. Like, all you needed was a little space. And I didn't give that to you. And I just appreciated you so much.
He just loved you so much.
Yeah, I loved you, man. I loved you. But, no, it's just funny. It's like, he's been good. Like, right now he's laying next to Dana, but for the last hour or so before we started this podcast
round one,
for the second time, he was, like, in his kennel, like, sleeping, and now he's found his spot next to Dana. But
he also likes to sleep with me. He likes sleeping with me more than he likes sleeping with you.
yeah, because I move around a lot.
Yeah, and you, like, kick him, like, out of your area.
Probably.
And I don't
like,
do
I just
that.
don't give him zero. Like, it's funny because when we were traveling down here, there were multiple times that the last night, especially, when I stayed at Andy Smith's and Andy and Amy Smith's in Evansville, Indiana, he slept up top with me. He, like, slept up towards the pillows, his head towards the pillows, which is abnormal. So, like, when he sleeps with Dana and I, generally he sleeps with his head towards our feet and his butt towards our face. And I think it's like the pack mentality is kind of like what we've thought. But I don't know. He slept up towards the top, and he did last night too.
Mm-hmm. For a little bit, and then he moved down, so he was kind of by my waist. But
I had already passed out.
His head was still facing, like, up.
Yeah. And yeah, he just, like, allowed us to cuddle him a little bit more, or, like, on the way. Yeah, he like, him and I definitely bonded throughout the day. Today, Florida has next level thunderstorms.
Yeah. I think it's able to get much closer to us than it is in Minnesota. So in Minnesota, it sounds like it's so far away.
Yeah, I don't know. I could just, like, I could time it. Obviously, like, there would be moments where I could see the lightning flash, and I'd be like, "It's gonna be okay, buddy. It's gonna be okay." And all of a sudden, it'd be like, "Kaboom!" You know, and it would, like, hit. There were other ones, like, the first couple were the worst, and he, like, freaked out for sure. But they were just, like, flash bang, you know, like, oh yeah, he was shaking for sure. Like, he was He was not having it. He was not having it.
It was
Good
so
time.
sad. So Shane like sent me a bunch of pictures of him, and it was so sad. And he's just like following you, and then there's this last one. He's like hiding in the little laundry closet, and his face is like, "Dad, help me!"
But the only reason he was still staying in that spot is because I hadn't moved from the kitchen.
Oh.
So like he was following me around like everywhere. Like I legitimately couldn't turn around. Like if I was walking in one direction and I turned around, like he was right there. And like I would like fall over him.
He's so sweet. He's such a lovely boy.
Yeah, it was like sweet because he obviously like thinks of me as like a protector, but it's also like, come on, dude, like, come out.
Hey, stretchy
Like,
boy.
don't be underneath my butthole.
Hey, stretchy boy. He's stretching now, and it's so sweet, and I love him.
Yeah. Yeah. So we talked about what all have we talked about now? Man, it's like confusing because we've talked about everything like twice, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about the food experience we're doing next Saturday. There's another guy who does a
Like a coconut, but it's like urban gardening.
urban garden. Yeah.
And like this coconut experience.
He has like 5 different continents that are available. Maybe I should just bring it up and read it.
But you're like a super fan of coconut. Like you love coconuts.
I do love
and
coconut.
I'm not a huge fan of coconuts, man.
Yeah, you're a freak.
Call me crazy or a freak, but I'm not like a super huge fan of coconuts.
Mm-hmm.
Candied or otherwise.
So this one's called the South Florida Atlantic Coast. It's the Go Coco Loco at Tropical Urban Farms.
Go Coco Loco.
My name is Matt, and I will be your host for this edible garden tour here in tropical South Florida, in parentheses, SoFlo, which obviously is a thing, and I don't know about it, which is interesting. For the past 4 years, I have been a tropical urban farm of over 50 different types of edible tropical plants that span 5 continents and influence hundreds of cultures. During those years, I also owned/operated a landscape design company, spent hundreds of hours educating myself about edible plants, practiced different gardening methods used throughout the tropics, and expanded my culinary knowledge and taste buds to better enjoy the tropics. So, the experience is split into 2 parts, going Coco Loco and tropical urban farming. The first part, its experience will focus on you learning how to harvest, open, drink, eat, and use nature's most important tropical plant and food, the coconut. You will learn a few different techniques of how to properly open coconuts, along with how to drink and eat the pulp. You will also be given a demonstration on how to make homemade coconut milk, of which you will be able to sample once finished. And when it comes to the coconut water, don't feel shy about asking for seconds or thirds or even, or as there will be enough cocos for every guest to enjoy. Once you have fully experienced the coconut, we'll move on to the second part of the experience, tropical urban farming. This part of the experience will focus on educating you on how to identify, maintain, harvest, and use some of the 50 different types of tropical plants we grow here at our humble urban farm. Throughout the garden tour, you'll be able to hand pick and taste many of these seasonably available foods. We will finish the experience by enjoying a nice cup of tea that is made fresh from the garden.
I think that's really cool too. Like
Yeah.
He makes his own tea.
So this is one of the things, and since I didn't buy this one, or since I didn't buy this one before, I think I'm going to do it right now. Because I did the other one on the podcast that didn't get saved.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do it. I'm going to choose the time. It says guest requirements, up to 7 guests, ages 5 and up can attend. Government ID. I'm going to accept it. Add a guest under 18. Nope. Next, it'll be me. I'm going to set the blah, blah, blah. It's $50 for the experience, which I feel like is a little bit of a lot. For instance, when Dana and I did Airbnb together, we rented our house. Like, we rented our house for, like, basically, like, $27 to probably, like,
We rented a room
$35.
for $27. A room in our house.
Like, $27 to $35 is probably, like, the like, span. But, like, I think this is a really cool experience. Obviously, it's throughout the day.
Yeah, but, like, coconuts cost money. Like...
Yeah. It's at 10 a.m. on August 12th, which is Monday. So, here we go.
Well, I'm working.
I just
Shane
hit the
will
button.
be learning about coconuts.
Yeah,
I
that's
just hit the
actually really
buttons.
exciting. It's done. Here's how to meet, what to bring, and how to change the reservation.
That's exciting.
I'm going to view it. August 12th. Boca Raton.
Boca Raton.
Perfect. Which is awesome. So,
It's
we're
really
like,
exciting.
yeah, we're like super close because we live in Coconut Creek, which is probably like within 10 minutes of this place.
Do you think I'm going to have to start liking coconuts because we live in Coconut Creek?
No.
Which is also
But-
just a really interesting concept. Now, I live in Coconut Creek. We live in Coconut Creek.
We do live
We
in
live in
Coconut
Florida.
Creek.
Like, this is where we live. This is where my life is. This
It's
is where
true.
your life is. This is where our life is. We live in Florida.
Still hard to believe. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie.
it kind of feels like we're on vacation. Yeah. It kind of feels like we're on vacation because there's like all these palm trees and there's this pool. But it's like where we live. Like, we live here.
Yeah, I don't know how
24/7.
to like separate it. Like I hear what you're saying.
But all of our stuff is here.
And I think that I would very much have the same feeling as you if I had lived here with an empty apartment for like 2 weeks, like you have.
Yeah.
I think I would very much feel like this, like, I don't know, like
Like a
you just said,
transition
like
phase.
it's like vacation / like it doesn't feel real almost.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like I showed up, our stuff showed up, and like I started unpacking, you know.
Yeah.
So like it's obviously like you and I have had like very different experiences of this entire process, which kind of blows my mind because it's like really hard for you and I to like understand the experience that each other has had.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I haven't like unpacked anything.
No. You haven't unpacked and legitimately haven't unpacked anything.
Unless I brought it.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I was pretty bummed. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty bummed that, like, I had to be here for things to be unloaded. And I know that I wasn't. Like, it was just easier for Chance and I to not be here
Yeah.
and you to take over.
But it's fair.
Which worked
like,
out really well, like,
Yeah.
honestly. But, like, I don't know. It just feels... It feels different. Like, it feels... Obviously, like, I packed up our house. Like, I
Yeah.
was there for that whole
You've done a
process.
lot of work.
And then, like, I was here also for the, like, unload and, like, unpack into our house. Which works out really well because, like, I don't have a job, you know? You guys heard me if you were listening to the podcast with Eric Richardson and I. I sent the email at the end of that podcast. Basically, not basically, it was
You
me
resigned.
giving my resignation. That's when I sent it. And so here I am. I technically get paid
Yeah.
through or till September. I'm not sure when even the last one is, because communication with anybody in a business world is impossible. So Northeast Metro 916, your communication is shit, just like the rest of everybody else. And I'm very much okay with telling everybody in the world that Northeast Metro 916's communication with their employees and those that have left their employment with 916 is complete garbage. They have not told me when my last paycheck is. They have not told me when any of those things are, which is annoying. There's going to be at some point in time when I just don't receive a paycheck. And I guess that's just part of the process. You would think as a company that that's something that you would tell. Dana's trying to urge me to move beyond this, but this is really honestly something that if you're a company out there and you are, just work better on your communication. There is in no way, shape, or form that you work harder on your communication with your employees, with your business, just communication in general across the board, that anyone in their right mind is going to be like, you communicate too much. No one's ever going to say that. Over communicate. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. If you're a company out there, I don't care what your job is. I don't care what your company is. I don't care what your focus is. Mm-hmm. I dare you to over communicate.
You know what's really funny though? So with where I used to work, communication was always this big thing. I feel like that company has been very open and transparent, and they do communicate really well. But they still receive feedback on both sides saying that they don't communicate enough. And on the other side, there's some people that say they over communicate, that they communicate way too much.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting because
if somebody's telling you that you communicate way too much, you're doing a right thing. You're doing a good job. Just overlook those comments and focus on the other and see how you can over communicate better in other ways. I'm telling you that the number one thing, Sudeth, our moving company.
Yeah.
The same exact thing. There's no way that you can over communicate with us in that process.
Especially during a process like moving our home to a different
Leslie
state.
was fantastic, right? And I really value these companies. I really value the company that we worked for in that regard. There's nothing that they said and nothing that they sent to us. Leslie would contact us, when around the time that we had set or they had set or she had set for us to receive things or whatever. And she would call us and she would be like, hey, is so-and-so here?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, nope, sure isn't, and she'd be like, okay, but it felt really good to be heard. It felt really good to be understood and be like, you know what? They were supposed to have they contacted you, and you could be like yes or no. And there were different instances when they had communicated to us, and there were times when they hadn't. And it's impossible to hit that mark on the nose.
Yeah.
It really is. And I understand that. I guess I look at, the company that I used to work for, Northeast Metro 916, And I look at them and I really honestly, like, I get it. The summers are when you take your time off. The summers are when your employees take your time off. But, like, you have to have a plan for that.
Yeah.
You have to know that, like, so-and-so is going to take off, or this is when we're low in the time period, or, like, the time frame of our employees. But we have to communicate better, and they have not communicated well at all. It's taken a lot of effort and understanding on my end to really do that. My experience in general with Northeast Metro 916 is that communication hasn't been that awesome in general, and so maybe that's like part of it that's kind of like spilled over into this process for me. And I know that I can tell that Dana really feels uncomfortable about me like throwing them under the bus with this, but like I honestly don't have any problem with that.
I know you don't have any problem.
I think that they're one of the best special education programs that I've experienced. I think that they're great. I really think that they're great. I think that they have a lot of things that they're not. You're gonna have a hard time finding it an special education program.
The whiskey hitting you hard, huh?
Ooh. You're going to find a hard time finding it, a special education program that's like hitting home runs, you know?
Yeah.
And that's just part of it, you know? I mean, there's so many things. It's a really hard thing to be a part of, to just hit home runs out of like the entire process. However, your communication can be better.
Everybody's communication can be better.
Everybody's.
But also, here's the deal, is that everybody defines communication, especially good communication, a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
And something that I found, at least in my experience, with people who are like, you don't communicate enough. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, one, I literally talk to you every single day. Two, we have a scheduled meeting every 2 weeks. And three, you receive probably 5 to 10 emails from me every single day. So how am I not communicating enough? And it's just the type of information they're looking for is different.
Yeah. And that's honestly the thing. And that's what I'm saying, like, Northeast Metro 916, they're doing a great job. They're killing it. They really are. They're doing a great job. And, like, I've worked for a few different companies. Like, I've worked for a few different special education programs, and I think they're doing the best. I honestly do. I really think that they're doing some of the best work out there. But I just don't think that you can let people off the hook. Like, you can do a great job, but you can still challenge people in the same vein. And I think that, like, it's important to challenge people along the way, and like challenge companies and challenge things along the way, because I don't think that any company out there wants to go like, well, we're okay with being mediocre. We're okay on being just above average, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that they're one of the same. I think that they don't want to just be like, well, we're good enough at just being like just above average, which I think that they are just above average in some ways, you know? I think that they're doing a great job. I think that I think it's really important for you to communicate and like, and to evaluate every aspect of your company and like just attempt at being better. And let's be honest, there's probably 0 people that are in the administration that are listening to this podcast, which is why I feel very comfortable talking freely about all of these different things. However, like, if you're a former teacher of mine or you're somebody within the school system of 916, you understand 100% what I'm saying. You really get it. You really do. And I think that, like, even if it's just me validating some of your feelings, I think that's important. And then you can voice that. I don't work there anymore, so it doesn't really matter anything to me.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, those types of things I think are important.
Do you hear him snoring right now?
Yeah, he's snoring baby.
He's so sweet in his snoring little babiness.
Chancey Poo. The Chancey Poo.
Ah, baby Chance.
At the Chancey Poo on Instagram. To plug it. He's laying next to Dana right now. He's just snoring away.
He's so sweet.
He's very sweet.
I hope this is a turn of a new leaf for me and Chance, that he loves me again.
Man, I'm all about that.
I love him so much.
I need to, like, leave during the day so he, like, doesn't feel so connected to me. But, well, Monday I will be. I just bought that.
Yeah, you did.
So, Monday. Sorry, dude. I'm not going to be here in the morning.
The poor baby. He'll be okay as long as it's not raining.
Well, Dana.
Shane.
We covered a few different things.
We did.
I feel like we left a few different things out that we had talked about beforehand.
I imagine I'll be on here again.
I hope so. I think you're great.
Thanks, honey buns.
I love you.
I love you too.
Anything else you want to plug? Anything else you want to talk about?
I'm good.
All right.
All right.
Well, here we are, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. We love you. And thank you so much for being a part of the CrazyFaceUno podcast.
Bye.
Dana's saying bye. I'm saying bye. We appreciate you. Love you.